Good morning, Guardians. Briar Rabbit here. I hope you guys are really enjoying Rise of Iron. I know I am. I missed an episode yesterday. I apologize for that. I was frankly just too busy playing to make a video. So my bad on that one. We're going to get right back on track today and moving forward, however. But today we're going to do a little bit something different. I want to share with you guys my initial impressions on Rise of Iron so far, and I gotta say, overall, it's very positive. Now, this is after one day of play, so obviously, I don't know what the long-term replayability of Rise of Iron is going to be. I don't know if this thing is gonna last until Destiny 2 in September of 2017. I don't even know if it'll last till Christmas. But what I can say is that I really enjoy what Bungie is doing here. So, let's start off with the story. The story is quick. I'm not going to have any spoilers here. This is going to be a spoiler-free episode with one kind of caveat. If you don't want to see what's on the top of the temple above Fellwinter's Peak, you may not want to watch the end of this one. But anyhow, the story. Story was great. It was the best integration I've ever seen of gameplay and story. The actual missions seemed to tie right into the story. The story was captivating. I actually got some feels during the story. I actually felt some emotion crop up, which is, very uncomfortable for me. But yeah, I mean, it was great. It was really fun, but it was really short. Now, we knew it was going to be short going into it. We knew it was going to be 5 missions long. Bungie prepared us for that. And while, it's still somewhat disappointing to be done with a story in 2.5 hours, I would say what they have there is very good. Now, after you finish the story, the main story missions, you actually do continue the story. There are a bunch of quests that tie into the main story or clean up loose ends from the main story, which is a lot of fun. And the way they introduce some new weapons, no need to spoil the Gjallarhorn, that thing's been out there for a long time, but for instance, the Gjallarhorn quest really ties into the story, it ties into the lore of Destiny, and it does a much better job of giving you an exotic feel for a weapon. It gives you a great quest, it feels fun, it ties into the story, and it makes you feel like you accomplished something to get that weapon. One of my biggest problems with the Taken King was these weapons just seem to pop up, with the 3 of coins and like these little side missions, they really seem to just pop up and didn't really give you any kind of connection to a great achievement in Destiny or a great story arc in Destiny. And I think the Gjallarhorn really succeeded here. Now, I didn't do the Kvastov quest yet, so I'm reserving judgment on that. I also really like what they did with both the new strike and the revamped strike. So Bungie seems to have learned how players play Destiny. And that may sound a little weird, but going into Destiny, in the first year of Destiny, we cheesed everything. Strikes, missions, raids, everything. Now, bringing some of these old strikes back, notably the Devil's Lair, there were a ton of cheeses for the Devil's Lair. To get through that very easily, if you wanted to solo a Nightfall, it really wasn't much of a problem with the Devil's Lair. Now, this revamped version with Sepix Perfected, Bungie seems to have learned this. They were able to keep the geometry of the strike, but by adding in turrets and, certain aspects to keep players from kind of like hiding on the edges of the map and just sniping into the middle of the map, they did a really good job of this, and it makes the strike much more dynamic and much more fun. The Wretched Eye strike is much the same. While a cheese has already been found for the main boss encounter of the Wretched Eye strike, for the most part, and I assume Bungie's going to fix that cheese, for the most part, it is a very dynamic encounter. You have an ogre chasing you around, you have like the main boss chasing you around, you got all of these like little peons spawning in, coming at you from every direction. It's a very fun encounter, and with 3 people coordinating their movements, what they're up to, it's a very fun way to play, and I really like how it dynamically changes. The path to get to the final boss dynamically changes. So every time you do that strike, it's just a little bit different, and it adds to the adventure of doing that strike repeatedly. I really enjoy that. So many of these strikes I can basically just run on autopilot because I've done them over and over and over again. And if this works with this strike, hopefully that never happens. You'll always be kind of checking your mission indicator to see exactly where you need to go next, and kind of keeps it fresh. So there's a lot of new stuff. The Plaguelands, I think, are one of the most beautiful areas that Destiny's ever created. I've talked before about, you know, how Bungie dropped the last gen consoles, and I haven't seen proof of concept like why they needed to do that to move forward with Destiny. The Plaguelands to me shows me that. They are way more complex than any patrol zone we've ever seen before. It's multi-tiered. It's much more a vertical space. All of the spaces are much more vertical. Very graphically impressive. Fellwinter's Peak is very graphically impressive. And again, back to Bungie kind of figuring out how players like to play Destiny, a lot of this stuff is very, very explorable. In the video you're watching, you're actually seeing me climb Fellwinter Peak. And this is, you know, not something that's necessarily advertised in the game. It's just a really cool thing that you can do and explore. And Bungie has seen us exploring these social spaces before. Parkouring all over the tower, parkouring all over the reef. Now they're encouraging us to do it. They're actually giving us a reward for doing it. And that's very cool. That's a fundamental change in the way they're developing Destiny. They're really tailoring it for how we like to play, what we like to do with our characters in the world. And I think that's really encouraging for Destiny 2 down the line, because now they're going to be able to take all the data, all the data they've seen of how players play the game, and incorporate that into a brand new game. And that's really encouraging to me, because if we see how this game has progressed from vanilla Destiny, Dark Below, House of Wolves, Taken King, and now to Rise of Iron, huge changes have been made, and each time the story has gotten better, the playable spaces have gotten more fun, more interactive, there's more secrets to uncover. I can't wait to see what secrets there are in Rise of Iron. If the Kvastov and Gjallarhorn quests are any indication of how we might find some more exotics like Thorn, I'm really looking forward to running those quest lines and furthering the story of Rise of Iron, because that's one of the successes of Rise of Iron so far, is how they've integrated the story, the missions, the strikes, and even the end game. So I'm really having a blast with this game so far. I'm really excited for it. I hope it, you know, has a very long tail to it. It's, you know, that obviously remains to be seen. But so far, it's been very fun. I haven't checked out the Crucible yet. Haven't checked out Archon's Forge yet. Haven't even checked out the Kvastov's quest yet. So there's still a lot more for me to do. But obviously, it's only been 1 day of play. And at this point, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am truly focused on the raid, getting my character up to raid light levels. Yesterday, I hit light level 355. The minimum requirement to get into the raid is going to be 360. But as we all know, those minimum light levels, that's how you can get in there and get your ass kicked. What I want to do is I want to be 365, 370, as high a light level as I can be to give myself maximum chance of success in the raid. And right now, for me so far, that's been by just running Siva heroic strikes over and over and over again, which thank God they've improved a lot of the new strikes. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.